All right, guys. Very good morning to you all. My name is Chanky, and I'm one of the customer success managers at Capline. Today, we are going to dive into one of the major concerning topics, which is discovering ways to enhance your patient experience through effective patient communication. It's been a concerning topic for most of the practices and providers. So today, we'll see how we can work on it and enhance patient communication and patient experience. Before that, let's just have a quick introduction about Capline Healthcare Management. As you must be able to see, Capline Healthcare Management, we've been into business from past 9 years. We've had helped so many practices and providers in enhancing their patient communication. We're not just bounded to one services, we provide a lot many other services as well. We provide credentialing, patient eligibility, billing and collection, and all end-to-end services to all the practices and practices. Now, Capline is one of the leading healthcare management support coordinations with a broad spectrum. So, an end to end point where your solution will definitely be provided. Let's have a look at our today's goal. As I started with the beginning to enhance the patient communication, let's see what all we are going to cover down the line and what are going to be the goals. So, in today's webinar, we'll explore three vital areas to transform patient engagement and communication in healthcare process. The very first is patient engagement. It's one of the most crucial points which one should pay attention to. The active involvement of patients in their healthcare process. We'll discuss how improving engagement leads to better health outcomes, increased satisfaction, and more efficient care delivery. It's very important to get your patient engaged for your practice and, in fact, for the providers, vice versa. Looking at the second point, the technology integration. Our day-to-day life is getting digitalized, right? So it's very important that our patient should be introduced to that as well. Hence, utilizing tools like patient portals and automated reminders, this segment will cover how technology can streamline and smooth communication can be achieved. Nevertheless, let's move on to the third goal, which we'll be discussing during our webinar, with feedback and improvement. The improvement of seeking and acting on patient feedback through reviews. It's very important once we deliver the services to know how did patient feel, what experience he or she is going to carry, because of course, then only they would be able to share it with their families and friends, and hence getting more business for the practices and providers. We'll explore methods to encourage online reviews and use this feedback to improve services and patient satisfaction. Let's move ahead. Enhancing patient experience through effective communication. So the first thing that we will be discussing is effective communication techniques and how that can impact your patient experience. So whenever we are on the call with the patient, it's our words which transfer emotions and gestures to the patient. Our words which deliver the first experience and create the first impact on our patients. So let's have a look at it, how we can improve it. As I said, best practices for attracting more patients. Let's have a look like how can we enhance that. The very first, professional phone etiquettes. Importance of professionalism and courtesy during phone interaction with patients. While we are interacting with the patient, it could be possible we are not aware about the patient's moods, right? It could be possible that the patient is happy, patient is irritated, or patient could be going through any of the moods. But it's our job to stay professional over the call, no matter whatever patient throws at us, right? Moving on to the second point, the art of active listening. Just imagine you have a patient over the line and you keep that patient asking, repeating over and over again his or her concern. That won't leave a good impact on it, right? So, value of active listening to capture the full scope of patient needs and concerns and preferences is really needed. One has to stay calm, listen them, let them speak, and then deliver whatever you understood. You can politely ask them to repeat, but try to refrain it. With that, moving on to the next point, clarity in communication. Offering comprehensive details on what to expect during visits reduce anxiety. Of course, we need to set up the expectations what patient is going through, going to have when they are at practice during their appointment time, so that it can become hassle-free, right? So it's really important that you deliver clarity in your communication. Let's move on to the second point with that, pre-appointment engagement. Well, sending introductory emails about the practice and dentist to familiarize comfort and patients ahead of their visit. Just imagine you're going to one practice and you're not even aware about the provider you want to see. Won't be good, right? So it's really important that you start pre-appointment engagement with your patients. You deliver the information about the providers, the practice, how long has it been, the specializations of the providers. Moving on to the second point, we have streamlining patient registration, adapting quick digital process for patient registration to expedite service delivery. Most of us, we do not like to stay with the call, right? We would rather go on the website, get the appointment scheduled, and hence it's going to be all digitally done. So we have to make sure that we have a good website, easy accessible for the patients so that they can schedule their appointments on their own. It's not just for the schedule, but all the information, what they want, they should have over there. And this all helps us so that patient can build trust and credibility over us. Let's move on to some four points. Strategic scheduling. Implementing efficient scheduling to reduce wait times and enhance patient satisfaction. Just imagine there's a patient who's coming for an appointment and somehow he couldn't make up to the appointment without any prior notice. Now that time frame will definitely make a delay for the patients who are aligned for that particular day. So it's really important that all the schedules should be done in a strategic way that all the patient's appointment can be managed even if patient falls to show up. Let's look on to the other point, leveraging patient feedback. Now, once we had delivered our services, how can we know how did the patient feel? How was it? So it's really important to have the feedback from the patient. So utilizing testimonials and positive reviews to build credibility and trust among prospective patients so that in future they can trust us, they can come for the services, for the appointments here and now. Let's see the further points. So our next topic says combating no-shows and cancellation strategies for success. But before that, we should know what is a no-show. So a no-show refers to a situation where a patient falls to attend a scheduled appointment without providing a prior notice or canceling. As we just discussed a while back, where the patient who scheduled his or her appointment for like let's say a month after, but that patient falls not to attend that appointment. That could be avoided. And this is one of the reasons why we fail as a practice, as a provider, to gain more patient trust, right? Also, no shows and cancellation disturb healthcare practices, affecting efficiency and patient care continuity. Let's see how it impacts lost revenue, wasted resources, delayed care of patients, longer wait times for other potential health deterioration. Of course, just imagine there's a patient who did not show up and he did not even inform about that. It would create a delay for the other patient who is scheduled for that particular time and day. And not just for the patient, it's going to be the wasted resources for the practice and the providers as well, because they would be just counting on that patient that that patient might show up, but unfortunately it may not. So one of the ways we should avoid the no-shows. Now, since we talk about the no-show and the cancellation, let's see how it can be avoided and what all strategies one could follow to do that. The very first is targeted reminder systems. A patient should be alerted about the upcoming appointment, right? It's not just like that if you schedule the appointment and you're not getting any alert about it. We caught them in such busy schedule, it happens that we might miss onto that appointment. So it's really important that the patient stays alerted, receives SMS reminders through calls as well and through emails as well. Let's see. Using of SMS, email, and voice calls for personalized reminders. Automated reminders sent at strategic time increase attendance. If an appointment is scheduled for 3 weeks from now, it's really important that the patient should get weekly reminders so that they are well aware about their appointment. Even if they want to cancel it or reschedule it, they can do it within the time frame. That will help to save our time as well as patients' time and all the other patients who are scheduled for that particular schedule on that day. Looking on to the second point, flexible rescheduling policies. Implement clear, communicated policies for easy rescheduling. Utilize patient portals or direct communication to facilitate changes. Of course, if a patient is canceling an appointment, it could be possible that particular patient is not available for that particular time or day. We can deliver a reschedule option to them. We can ask for the feasible date and time wherein that particular patient can show up so that there should be no revenue loss and the patient should also get the appointment for which they, I mean, the concern, whatever they had, that should be addressed, right? Let's see on to some other points. The other strategic solution could be emphasizing appointment importance. It's really important. The patient should know what they are going exactly for. Let's say a patient is coming for the cleaning, just a normal checkup, or a major surgery like for the specialist like orthodontist, endodontist. They should be well aware about the procedure. They should know what importance it is going to create in their day-to-day life. Therefore, reinforce the health benefits of timely visits and reminders. Highlight the role of regular appointments in preventing complication. It's our job that we should make them understand the importance and the regular reminders. Moving on to the last but not the least, utilizing wait lists. Fill gaps from cancellation efficiently with a wait list system. Notify waitlisted patients for earlier appointments to keep the schedule full. Of course, when we got to know that particular patient is not going to come for the appointment which we schedule, they want to reschedule it or cancel it, we should reach out to the other patients to ask them if they could show up early. Could be possible that we couldn't provide a particular time slot which the patient was looking for. And now we have an opportunity to have that patient show up at that time. So it could be a win-win situation for us. All right, moving on to our second goal for today, which is leveraging technology. Let's see. Automated appointment reminders, as we just discussed, via text, email, calls, the automated reminders should always be sent to the patient so that they are well aware about the timing and the date of the patient and the appointments, and they can schedule their their meetings, their other stuff accordingly. So it helps to get boosted attendance and engagement through timely automated reminders. Looking on to the second point, which is accessible patient portals. Of course, digitalization is really important for the websites, for the practices, each and every one. So provide patients with 24/7 access to their health information, fostering independence and continuous engagement. That means so that they don't need to wait on the calls for long. They don't need to wait on someone know about their appointments, their health information. They should be accessible to the website so that they can go onto their own and can check what needs to be done and what all information is going to be covered in their upcoming appointments, right? It becomes really important for them. Now let's see the impact. These technological tools enrich the patient experience, combining convenience with the personal touch, ensuring ongoing effective communication. So, as we discussed in the beginning, Kaplan has been delivering services to so many providers, practices all over the United States. Let's have a look at one of the client's success stories. The client's name is Maple Leafs Clinical Transformation. Let's have a look at the challenge first. So, the practice had high no-shows rates and low patient satisfaction. Of course, that is one of the major concerns. Now we came up with a strategy, which is implemented personalized communication, upgraded patient portals, hosted health workshop so that patient can understand the importance of their appointment and day to day, I mean daily routine checkups, how it impacts their life. As we can see the results, no-show rates dropped by 40%. Patient satisfaction increased by 30%. Notable improvement in chronic condition management. Now, how does it impact it? Demonstrate the effectiveness of engaging patients through technology and personalized care, leading to better health outcomes and satisfaction. So it's really important that the patient shouldn't be just addressed in the first go when they schedule the patient appointment, but till the time they show up for the appointment. Now, once we deliver the service, how we will know how did the patient feel? What would be the next step? If they're going to get their families, friends, and the other known ones to our practice, how can we do that? So, therefore, it's reviews which do that, asking for reviews. Let's have a look. How does it impact? So, 79% of patients use online reviews for provider selection. 30% avoid providers with poor ratings. 63% of patients check 10 plus reviews before choosing a provider. 77% find the reviews age important. So it's really important if your provider delivers the best service, he or she should get reviewed for that particular patient so that the other patients who are wondering how their provider is going to be, what's their rating, can be accumulated, right? Let's see effective ways to ask for reviews. Now, how can we ask for reviews? Ask directly. Simply asking patient can lead to a 70% success rate in receiving reviews. Once the patient walks out from the practice after attending their appointment, it's our job if we could just reach out to the patient over the call, SMS, email to get a review. How did they feel? What was the good thing over there? Or if there's something which they would like to bring to our attention, right? Online listings on your website, which means direct patients to easily review sites via your website links. Most of the patients, they might not answer the calls, they stay occupied. So the review, it should be accessible through your website also so that they can just fill it up whenever they have their feasible time. Moving on to the next way, which is printed instructions. Offer printed guides for less techie savvy patients to leave online reviews. Of course, we would be dealing with all the patients with all the ages, right? From being child to the elderly ones. And I mean, the possibility is there that the elderly one is not that good with the technology. So for them, it's our job that we should find a way to get their review and how it could be done through printed instructions. So at least they can let them know their experience. Last but not the least, email request. Follow up appointments with personalized emails, including review sidelines. Again, reminders will also can attach reviews for the past appointments which they had so that we can work on it and enhance what needs to be improved or what went right, right? Let's let's have a look at some of the reviews of the providers practices which Capline had worked with. Please have a look at it. So I'm going to read out one of the reviews from our clients, which is Janice Bell. So she has given a 5-star rating, and she mentioned Kaplan services are kind, patient, professional, and consistent. Whenever I had a question, they were just a phone call away. They also were very flexible, easy to use, and have helped so much in managing my practice. Thank you. See, as I said, just make sure that you don't put your patients on wait. They should be addressed in the very first go. All right, with that, we have discussed all the major points to enhance patients' experience through the patient communication. So we have seen how crucial patient communication and engagement are for improving healthcare outcomes. It's time to apply these insights to make our practices more patient focused. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today's webinar. I hope you understand the importance of patient communication to enhance their experience. Thank you.